but the next area that we want to talk about is the civil rights movement. Now, we talked about Jim Crow and the suppression, the discrimination that we went through, and you know, you've heard that that's the way that it was. But the time came, and I believe that it was inspired by none other than God, that the people, our black people, decided that, you know, this is enough, that we're going to stand up now. And that if we lose our lives, it'll be for the cause. And so the civil rights movement really was a 30-year period from 1950 to 1980. But specifically in the United States, it was from 1955 to 1968. And a lot of people will agree that the event that set off the movement was Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott. But although it was many smaller things that took place before then, but the one event that brought it all together was Rosa Parks. And we know that the civil rights movement culminated, or it ended, with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and then also the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which gave us the right to go out and elect our leaders, the people that will represent us, and the Civil Rights Act that gave us just basic rights that had to be legislated in for us to have the lives that God meant for us. And although, as we said here on the sheet, if you're looking at it, there were many brave black men and women all across the South, in states that you never heard, in places you never heard of, that nothing is written about. Many of them took a stand, but the person that we put, the face rather, that we put on the civil rights movement as the leader was a young preacher from Atlanta, Georgia, named Martin Luther King Jr. And at this time, I want to turn the floor over to our own sister, Doretha Thomas, to just give us a little bit of introspect on the civil rights movement in her own way.
How I got old. My soul looked back and wondered how I got old. Now let's go to Mississippi. The place where I was born, where Oprah Winfrey was born. One of the richest black women in the United States. Now Mississippi is a place where the blues and gospel was born. Now I'm going to call up a couple of them. I'm going to call Willie Banks and the Soul Spirit. And then that's the gospel part. Now we're going to the blues part. I'm going to call Muddy Water and the... Now I want y'all to go into Mississippi. I'm going to take you on a little trip. Okay, we're going to start in Jackson, Mississippi, because we're doing great. And we're going to ride to Hattiesburg. You know, a lot of people heard about Hattiesburg. And from there, we're going to take you to Macomb, Mississippi, where my older sister lived and the rest of my family. But that wasn't where I was born. We got to go a little further. We're going on down Highway 24 to a little town called Gloucester, G-O-S-C-E-R. And on this, that's where I was born. And on the other side, about 10 miles, we know Adeline Farmer, that's her home. And my father was named Dan Cooper Carter. Really had two names. His grandmother, my grandmother, she had one son, was Cooper. So they called my daddy Cook Carter, which I call him Papa. And my mother was an Indian. Her name was Effie Mitchell Cooper. She was a mother of 11 children. I have two brothers and two sisters older than me. And I came next, something special. Now, when you get to Gloucester, My little town where I was born. You'll go into this little town where they had a colored side and a white side. Now what divided the town was a railroad. When you go across the railroad, it's in the color section. Now in those days, we had cafes in the color side. We had stoves. And we had everything we needed over there for the color. But we didn't have no bank. We didn't have no post office. And we didn't have no theater. But where I was born was out on a little dirt road, which wasn't too much cement. But I won't say that I lived in the country. I won't say I lived in town. We called it on the outskirts of town. I walked to school, then ride the bus. We had 3 churches, Methodist, Baptist, and Saints. Once a month, we went to church. I went to every one of them. But something about that sanctified church I liked because they made a joyful noise. They could really sing. And when you're in Mississippi, if you're on the train or the bus, as you get close to my little town, the station changed. You could hear the blues or you could hear some gospel. And I'm a person, I love music. I still love it. Okay? I'm going to tell you, since it's Black History, I'm going to the theater. Now, we sit in the back. Every Saturday, our mother was give us money to go to the theater. We call it the picture show. Okay, about the bus, we rode in the back of the bus. And one important thing I want to say about the Ku Klux Klan in Mississippi. Now, I didn't hear about the Ku Klux Klan until I left Mississippi. And I believe it's true. But the reason I didn't hear about it, I thought about that. I said, I don't know nothing about that. My mother was a person that when they had company, the children would go outside. They didn't hear what the grown folk were saying. And we didn't know, and I guess everybody else did too. But when I heard about the Ku Klux Klan, I believe that. Because I called back to see was it true. And they say it was, but I'm glad I didn't suffer that. My mama didn't say things that to children, you know, you tell your children about what happened, they don't sleep good at night, so she didn't tell them nothing about that. When I was 12 years old, I always wanted to be smart, like my mother. On the color side where all them stores, we had everything but a beauty parlor. We had to go to the house and get our hair fixed, and everybody in the little town of Gloucester had long hair. And I guess that's the reason I wear a wig now. In those days, we wore Shirley Temple. I went to work at this little, now my uncle owned the cafe, my daddy's brother. And my mama's cousin owned the cafe. But we called her auntie. So when I was 12 years old, I went to work at the cafe. And I never did do no work at home. Since my grandpa told me no stand long, so, but I will tell this. I washed one time at home. And my mama come home, she'd maybe take every piece down and wash it over. So that's the last time I washed. I always walked worked out. Went to school, black school, all black. But I got a job in the Army, Camp Bandar, 9 miles from where I live. I worked there a little while, and then they shut the camp down and sent all the soldiers to Camp Hope, Louisiana, which I heard what our members said he was stationed in. And at that time, the governor, I don't know exactly how it happened, but he gave me a job in Tennessee. And my grandboy told me when I get out of Mississippi to shut down. All right. So, but the one thing I want to say about this is about the fountain. I don't know if you want to get that. You know, when I came, I heard about the drinking fountain. And they said the white people drank the water, you know, drunk before and the coast or last. Okay. I've never seen the fountain. Because we had a well. And down below the house was a spring. So we drank spring water, we didn't have to buy it, now we got to buy spring water. So I'm going to get out of Mississippi, that's my grandboy told me to stay around there long. So I left Mississippi, going to Tennessee. And my mother told me the last words she said, you're not leaving by yourself. So you got Jesus. So I want to thank y'all for listening.
Amen.
I still got Jesus.
Amen.